spent the morning with Mike McClelland on Sam Rayburn Reservoir, stop number 1 on this brand new tournament series.
You know, the Texas Team Trail has an awesome schedule this year. Starting out on legendary fishery Sam Rayburn Reservoir, going to be a great tournament. And then go in April to Ray Roberts, unbelievable place. Shallow grass, North Texas, I think that ought to be super also. Livingston, the next stop, it's a little bit of a thinking man's lake. You can't catch all your fish in one spot. You got to be able to move around, but it's got big fish. It's going to be a great tournament also. And then end up on Louisville, a lake that's put out a lot of fish really close to the Metroplex. Super schedule. I really look forward to seeing the results.
Now let's take a look at the rest of the season. Stop number 2 of the Texas Team Trail is Lake Ray Roberts, one of the many great fisheries within the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Ray Roberts is a pretty unique North Texas lake. It's got a lot of diversity to it. It's got some great creek arms, it's got some shallow spawning pockets, it's got some marinas. So basically what that means is there's going to be a lot of ways for the anglers that are competing in that event of the Texas Team Tournament Trail to be able to go fish to their styles. But personally, I'd be beating the bank because I think that's going to play a big key in winning that event.
You know, Ray Roberts in mid-April is going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a great tournament. It fishes a little bit differently than all of the other North Texas lakes that I know about, just because it's got some grass in it. And it's shallow grass, the fish ought to be on the bank, they ought to be spawning, or somewhere close to around the spawn. It ought to be a great tournament, big weights. I look to be a fun tournament.
But one thing the guys got to keep in mind, are there still some fish ready to move up? If it's a cold winter, that's going to mean there's still some out deep in a pre-spawn situation.
Located farther downstream on the Trinity River north of Houston is Lake Livingston, an old-school Texas lake with plenty of big bass.
Well, Lake Livingston's a lowland reservoir. It's one of those lakes that's kind of a junky looking lake. It's got lots of timber in it, but it's got a lot of different places you can actually get or try to get to that you can get away from people on. Little sloughs and little creek channels and kind of areas where you have to kind of jump over a little sandbar, kind of get back in a little small cove. And so that may play into it. That's the time of year the shad are spawning. It kind of depends on what kind of cover there is. If there's a lot of cover in the water, if the water's risen a little bit, then there might be some shallow green vegetation in the shad. If they're spawning in that shallow vegetation, then that's where the bass will be. It's going to be shallow, that's one thing for sure.
What a great old lake in the state of Texas. Now it goes through a lot of cycles and it's currently in its upward swing. A lot of fish are being caught there and the lake's not receiving a lot of pressure. One of the biggest events of the year will be the Texas Team Tournament Trail event there. The time of the year that they're going to be there, I expect there's still going to be some fish shallow, but there's also going to be some fish in that post-spawn bite. They're going to actively be moving out a little deeper and chasing baits. That's going to be a great event. It's going to be interesting to see what style, what technique. I'm not going to be surprised to see it be a junk fishing tournament, catching fish on 4 or 5 different baits. What a great event.
And the last stop of the season takes us back north to the Metroplex on June 9th at Lake Louisville. This is your last chance to qualify for the 2-day championship this fall on Lake Amistad.
You know, Louisville's traditionally known as a lake that May and June fish are caught around boat docks. This may easily be a lake that's actually one out deep on the ledges, a little rock pile, a little drop off, something, not really deep, but 10 to 18 feet deep, someplace that you can, where they'll stack up. First place they stack up a lot of times is the easiest place to catch them.
It's a surprisingly great fishery. Weights will surprise you there at times, and that's the time of the year that they can, because the fish will actively be feeding on shad that are spawning typically. That means the fish are going to be a little bit easier to catch than other times of the year.
The all-new Texas Team Trail presented by Cabela's launches in 2012 with 4 qualifying events and a 2-day championship at Lake Amistad in October. With payouts to 50th place and a brand new boat for first at each event, the Texas Tournament Trail also offers a variety of contingency prizes. Qualified Stratos owners are eligible for extra cash incentives and a first-place upgrade to the Stratos 202 Elite.
Yeah, the TTT is set up with an awesome payout. It's got great contingencies. If you're running a Ranger, Triton, Stratus, you've got great contingencies built in all through the field. You got a chance to win a boat for first place, but pay way down all the way to 50th place. And so, I can't see a payout. I mean, the payout to me is just unparalleled.
Bass fishing has evolved, and the Texas Team Trail, along with Fishing Texas, is proud to showcase equipment used by tournament professionals, like the all-new Stratos 189 VLO, powered by a Mercury Pro XS. Now coming up, we'll rejoin Mike McClellan and take a closer look at this all-new tournament-ready boat. Here's another look at the schedule for the brand new Texas Team Trail. Visit texasteamtrail.com for registration and tournament details. We'll be right back with more from Fishing Texas.